everybody. Welcome. So what are we going to talk about today is how are we going to converge everything. So we always talk about physical security, we always talk about digital security. So how are we going to bring all of them together and why we have to bring all of them together? That's what we are actually going to talk about today. So traditionally, how the industry has worked, we have had all different kinds of systems, but everything worked in silos. We had HR systems managed by HR separately. We had a vendor management system that's not connected with HR, that's also separated. And then we have IT systems. IT folks have their own systems, their own architecture infrastructure. We have OT systems, which is physical industries, or like the generator systems or electronics and electrical systems inside the building. We also have physical security. That's where our doors and access and readers come through, right? So all of these systems are all different systems controlled by different entities within the same organization. They're in the same building or in multiple different buildings within the same company, but none of them are talking to each other. It did work all this while without any problem because it had its own limitations, its own problems, I would say, or different things that was not publicly open. There were some interconnections that had to be manually bridged. So all those things were still working, but what we lose here is a lot of things that was mostly time, right? Time was the essential factor that was being lost here. And this disconnected systems, this disconnected data, the data not being shared between all those systems which are required for the whole system to function properly. This also created a lot of ambiguity within the system. So there was no compliance. There was a lot of misses in the audits, and that's how these systems function. So there's fines to be paid when an audit comes in and there was no right data there. So imagine all these things in a growing company, right? When the company starts growing, these systems also starts growing. So there's a company which is just with 100 people that grows to 200, 500, then they are opening up a different company in a different city. These systems also grow along with the company. So the number of people increases, the number of systems were in different places also increase, and the managing of these things literally is unimaginable, and there's a lot of chaos involved here. So we have physical security, we have a CSO for that, we have CISO for information security in all these big companies, but unless they talk to each other, unless they tie the individual to what they're doing and how they're doing, this is going to be hard to manage. And that's why we need to have this convergence in place where all of these things are managed in the right way. We have to create a workflow, policy-driven sessions. Through automation, we're bringing in all together to ease off, tick off all the boxes so that nothing is compromised. So what else would be a bigger problem is, right, because we are not able to track an individual or tie this individual to the different systems in place, who's coming into the building, who's going out of the building, what all the access these people have and don't have, all these things is becoming a big question mark. And how are we governing an incident? Okay, somebody reports an incident that, hey, this person is seen in an unauthorized level of the building. How are we going to track that, whether this person had the right access, how did he get into it? So this is a physical security, or is it internal security? Is the IT is giving them access to be in that building or to do some work, or who is maintaining all these records? Are they still isolated systems? Then each department has to talk to each other. Maybe he was there for a genuine reason. Maybe he was allowed to be there, or maybe he doesn't know that he shouldn't be there. So whatever it is, finding out whether this is right or wrong itself is a time-consuming process when we have silos systems in place. And that's one of the major reasons that we need to bring in all the systems together, and that's how we could go and avoid all these consequences. So what are the consequences that we are talking about? So from a new employee joins, there's a new building, he's giving a access card, right? So a manual process, a badging process is manual. So who is the right person whether to get the badge? The HR has onboarded a person, the person walks in, but to the security office to get a badge, maybe it's not the right person who the HR onboarded. How do we know that? Because these systems are not connected. I walk in and say I'm the person. The HR system allows me to create a record, They create a user, their employee on the system, but when he goes into the security office, all they see is just the employee name. And I'm claiming that I'm that employee and I'm getting a badge, which I'm not supposed to because there's somebody else who's supposed to be getting this badge. So there's no audit trail, there's no continuous process on the workflow to identify who the person is, how the person is getting access. So these are all the threats that would be seen in the industry continuously, right? So we have a life cycle, we have a process to follow, but then this is broken in every department. So it starts at one place, ends at one place, but it doesn't end till all the way, go through all the way for the last person to identify, acknowledge that this is the right way to do it, right? And somebody is coming in to visit me in the office. Like I'm not even an employee there, but I'm bringing somebody because I already had a fake badge, and I'm bringing in somebody to the facility to take him around and show the places, which is a potential identity threat, right? I'm not supposed to have somebody inside unless it is approved who it is. I'm bringing somebody to the front desk, I'm just signing off on a sheet of paper, and there is no record of it. Maybe the paper got lost, but maybe there is no trail connecting me to that visitor, to that time in the day, to be in the system. So it's a lot of misplaced trust there that's going on. There's no way to enforce a policy. So we say manually, okay, this security personnel is responsible for it, but one person cannot be in all the places at all the times to make sure that this visitor is always in the right place, because there would be hundreds of visitors coming in and going out of the building. So all these things is what we are trying to cut down, have an audit trail in place, we have a workplace in place. These things are required to make sure that the building is secure from day one of the person coming into the building till he goes off. So how are we doing this? It's like, first thing is defining the exact roles and responsibilities of each and every department, right? So we define, okay, this is the cybersecurity, this is the physical security, these are the things that you need to do as part of a cybersecurity team, these are the responsibilities of a physical security, okay. Now the roles are defined, and what are the next thing is the focus areas. What are the key things that you need to focus? What is the gaps between one system and another? Focus on those areas, bridge those gaps, and then learn from the previous incidents or previous things that have happened within the industry to know, okay, these are the potential things that could happen because there is a gap in all these systems. So that's what is the objective here. Define the roles and responsibilities, focus on the areas of improvements, and then bring everything together. And what is this going to give you is, at the end of the day, you have a really, really solid system that would provide you with a complete visibility of what is happening within your building, and the capabilities are being defined in a way that each department is responsible for the staff of whatever is happening within that area of their building. And all these things, what it does is create a overall way to see what is happening, who is coming into the building, who is going out of the building, where is this person belonging to, where is this person going within the premises, and all that could be objectified in a way that one person could control all these movements. If there is anything missing, this person could be questioned, okay, this person, why he is in this place at this time, and who is responsible for that action to allow him in that place. So all these things would be in the system instead of on a paper trail or picking up the phone and calling somebody and checking what's happening in their system and everything. And how we are going to achieve this, we're talking about, hey, we need to bring everything together. How are we going to achieve this is because we need to invest in this physical identity access management system. So these are the systems that actually tie up the user for everything that he's doing within the building. He may be just an engineer, he may be just a salesperson, he may be just a janitor, for just a housekeeping person who comes in and goes. So is he in the system? Is he allowed to be there? How is that being created? So it all happens through the set of rules and security policies that is being set up as workflows, right? So these systems create all those workflows, create that playground for anybody to monitor the movement of every employee or every person in this building. It doesn't have to be an employee, it could be a contractor, it could be a vendor coming in for just a day, or it could be a visitor coming in to meet a person. So the user actually is the basis of everything. So the system is where it's ground zero, the person that gets created in the system, and from that point on, everything is being mapped to each and everything that the person is doing. So we have a physical and logical IAM. What is a logical IAM? So physical identity access management, everybody knows, but how is it logical? What does it do? This is where the IT department of the companies that come in place. So we have the user that gets onboarded, HR creates a person in the system, they come in, fine. So I joined a company, how long I'm going to wait till I get my access for all the systems that I'm going to do the work? Am I going to go talk to my manager for every single thing and he's going to create a request in the system for an IT to give me access to my email, for my chat, for my Slack, or for my Jira or Asana, whatever that systems that I'm going to use for the databases, for the DBAs, or for the network access. So is it going to be a time-consuming process? Or the moment you bring in onboard a user into the system, this logical IAM would know, okay, this role, user is assigned at this role, and for this role, these are the access that I have to provide. So all these workflows are already designed as and feed it into the system. So the moment you select the user, create a user and select the role, you have everything in place. So this is time consuming, which is very time-saving process. For the employee, it's a easy thing, right? So you go in on day one, you get your badge, you get everything, and you go to your system, your work desk, and you have your laptop, and you open everything, you have access for everything. You don't have to wait for days together to go and get in each and every department to get an access for everything that you need. So that way it's a time saver, it's an easy experience for the user who's coming in for the first time. And not just that, we also have other things to be control of, right? So this user who's got into the building, have access to the system, can bring in visitors. How are we going to manage those visitors? So there's a separate system that has its own sets of rules, policies, and everything that would track these users who is bringing in as a vendor, as a visitor for a meeting or a business purpose, or just as a friend or a family who could just come into the workplace to see how it is happening. And then comes in the mobile credentials is just a cherry on the top. It's the way how the world works today. Everything is on a mobile. I don't have to have my wallet. I don't even have a wallet. I don't own a wallet anymore. Everything is my phone. My bank card is on my phone. My transport card is on my phone. So why not the access card? And that's where the companies are moving towards now, that space, and that's where the mobile credentials. So Google Wallet, Apple Wallet, all these big tech giants are partnering with the technology providers to create these access credentials. Instead of a plastic card, I can have this on the phone. I can just go and tap it. Again, it talks about the user experience when a person joins a company. It's tech savvy, everything is on the phone, and it's ease of use. And then there's a different system called SOC Insights, which could also, a lot of companies are moving towards the direction of the AI-powered tools, and this is one where you get a lot of information about the activities for the user. So I created a user in the HR system, I got access through the logical IAM, I'm being monitored using the visitor management on whom I'm bringing to the company, taking them out and everything. And what does this SOC do is to analyze all these data in the background to know whether this person is actually a real person doing the right things in the job, or his activities are a little bit deviant from what is supposed to happen, whether he has more access to a place, more secure area, and this person's not even been in that area for the last 2 months, and should we still continue to give him access? So these things could trigger a warning to his boss or the person in charge of that secure area to check, hey, you have given this person access, but he has not been in there for the last 2 months, should we continue to give him access? Or you could also say that this is the same secure area, the person is continuously going in and out every other day for a very short amount of time, the pattern is not matching, so whether should be treated as a threat, whether should be looked into or not. So there's a lot of things that the AI could generate and give you the details proactively instead of waiting to get what to know it is, reacting after the incident happened. It's more of proactively figuring out and stopping that incident from being happening. So all these things is possible just because all the systems are connected together, and that's what is in need of the hour for us, because there's a lot of incidents that try to happen, everybody get into the buildings trying to access stuff. We're not talking about just we're a building where multiple different companies are associated or rented in a place, right? We are talking about enterprise customers, like we have banking customers, the buildings where the banks are being operated, the trading floors. We have data centers. We have national security offices systems where there's a lot of data in it. So all these things could be protected unless we don't have this convergence in all the systems together. The protection of this is going to be more chaotic, more manual, where there's be a huge gap in figuring out how things should work and what should happen. So giving this, the heads of the cybersecurity and physical security would always be in control of what they're doing. They are at peace, they are at ease, they have complete control of what this person is doing, what the system is doing, how the system reacts, how everybody is controlled. They can see what's happening within the building for all of their personnel present inside of that building, whether it be employee, contractor, vendor, visitor, anybody who comes in and goes off the building. So this is just a chart that shows up the workforce lifecycle. This, as I told, is going to give you a lot of peace for the persons who are controlling the access and security of any building, right? So, as I said, there are multiple systems connected. A new employee comes in, they have the screening and everything that happens on the HR system. They take care of that. The onboarding experience is eased. They don't have to do a lot of paperwork, signing and everything. Everything is on the system. You get onboarded into the system. The next step, you don't have to go run behind your managers, find out his time to see when he'll be free to go and so that you can talk to him to get access to all the relevant resources that you need to do your day-to-day job, because all this is taken care of. It's already there. You already have your team. You know where to go, how to do. You have the relevant access to go. You don't have to go climb up to the 15th floor of the building to meet somebody, and then you realize that you don't have access to that floor. You come back all the way down, go to your security office or to your manager, get that access and go back. You don't have to go all that hassle. Everything is included here because the systems operate in a way of set of rules, policies that has to trigger the moment something happens for you as a user. So you onboard as a user, you define the role, and everything else falls in place accordingly. You're visiting to a different office, it has the same system. The system takes care of you when you're visiting the new building and everything. When somebody else is coming to visit you, you use the same system, tell who's coming in, how you could use them, where you could take them, all those things are being tracked. And you're changing your role, so you're getting a more higher role and you have more responsibilities. You should have more access to secure areas or data centers or something. The system will take care of it. You don't have to wait. Oh, I got my promotion. I'm happy. Yeah, I had partied all night. I got the promotion, but I don't have to wait till 2 more days to start that actual work, right? Because that access is immediately granted because the system is taking care of it. The role changes for this role. These are the access limits and access rights, and that gets everything changed up. Finally, I quit the company. The system again takes care of everything, closes off all the access, does what it has to do. If not, see, I've worked in the industry for quite some time, or different companies, right? I've gone from floor to floor, getting a sign off on a piece of paper from all the department heads. I go to the IT department, I go to the finance department, I clear my bills, I go to my assets department to return my laptop, and so a lot of things that where I have to go get a paperwork signed with admins and everything. But with the systems like this, where everything is converged, the HR offboards me from the system, everything kind of checks out, and if everything is good, then the candidate is off, the badge access is revoked, and everything is cleared out. The mobile credentials are deleted from the user's mobile phone. Everything is go in just a click of a button. And all this is possible only if it is converged. If you have silos, then you have to take care of it. If it is converged, everything is taken care of for you by the system, which makes the department heads safe and secure. I'm going to stop here for any questions. Right. Thank you everyone for your time.